So, all right. So I thought also, so you guys went to the party. You see all these photos of people. Let's take a look at some of the ne'er-do-wells here. So Bob's working because he's the hardest working man in show business. He's painting lines on roads right now in Hanover, Massachusetts. I can't tell you exactly. I promise I would never tell, but without Bob, there would be no Brand New Classic. So he's one of my favorite people ever. So Danny, Chris, Pete, some of these guys you met last night. Brian, Brian's a really old friend of mine, also from Boston. You might know Tor, Meyer, and Alexander. Andy, the guy down in the bottom left, he's the guy who actually fulfills your book. So you can think of that image when you're unwrapping your books. Shy dresses like that every day. Carly is very tolerant of me, and Anthony is currently trying to muzzle the sonar. But there's a couple other faces, a couple other recent additions to Burning Wheel headquarters. So this guy, this is one of his first weekends in New York. We adopted him. He's definitely like an abused pet that you got from the shelter. Like he runs under the stove if you try to pet him or whatever. So let's go. This guy, he's not here today, but we found him on the street and wandered around going, "Where's my podcast? Where's my podcast?" And he did some writing for us for the Adventure Burner. He'll be here tomorrow running games. But the guy, this guy. So this is the guy. This guy is the first guy to ever buy Burning Wheel. Period. Ever. He found my postcard in The Complete Strategist and said, and sent me an email and said, "Dude, I want to buy your game." Okay. One? No, 2 copies. Okay, that's cool. Maybe even 3. Might have been 3. Was it 3? I don't remember. So then he seemed kind of lonely, kind of lost. He had a thick accent. We communicated via email. I was also eager. I had my first game sold. What do you think? "Oh, dude, it seems cool. I like Pretty Dark Fantasy." Okay, cool. And so this was November 1st, 2002. I don't know what came over me, but well, you all know now that I basically like crazy people. I invited him to Thanksgiving at Burning Wheel headquarters. And this is a photo from that Thanksgiving dinner. And if you look, go back. Right. So if you look here, just the posture is important here. He doesn't know what's going on. So okay, go to the next slide. You can look at his eyes. He's either thinking here, "Are you trying to steal my soul?" Or "I can get you much better deal on Russian camera." Like a very good. I mean, look at him. You can tell he doesn't understand English. It's fucking awesome. Okay, let's go. Let's leave the pro alone. Okay, so those are some faces. Put some names to faces. The burning method here. So I thought you guys might want to take a look at how we make a book. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought this would be interesting. Yeah, I'm good. Plenty of time. Oh, and Jordan called me. That's great. Good timing, Jordan. Okay, so at this point, it's cool. So we kind of have a rhythm now where we try to put something out for Gen Con every year. So we'll get an idea at some point during the year. We don't usually start working on it hardcore until the fall, but we'll start noodling behind the scenes in downtime. We'll start playing around with mechanics. I'll usually sketch something out and grab somebody, whoever's closest to me, and be like, "Roll dice, you roll dice." What for? Shut up. Just roll up. God, that didn't work. Forget it. For example, this is the range and cover playtests in 2004. We released this a year later, and yes, those are miniatures. We basically came up with a whole separate game, and then ended up paring it down to range and cover. Look, that's Andy. He's got clothes on. and I was looking through my archive. That's my roommate, Danny, who's been with us for a long time. He kind of walked into the party late last night. But nearly every photo I have of Danny is like that. The one that I put in on the Who's Who page was the most dignified one I could find.
Because he's comedy man.
Yeah, he's comedy man. So, so we started building around the idea, we started playtesting it, started rolling dice, let's go. And then so we go into production. So our first step in production is that we outline the project. That's actually the outline for bringing the classic, which I taped to my wall. My room was like an inmate's room in an asylum for 10-10-10. I had stuff taped to the walls, like little slips of paper with writing on them, and an outline. You'll see the piece of butcher's paper downstairs that was insane scribble on it. So at this point, Tor and I outline the project. I pitch Tor, tell him what I want to do, and he helps me kind of structure it out. Let's go. And then, so then I draft it, and we start alpha testing. So for Burning Empires, we just grabbed Burning Wheel character sheets, grabbed Burning Wheel, and we're like, this is equivalent, but you would have lasers. And just went from there. We were like, what traits would make a Kern? Well, he's got to have a funny accent.
You started with a dwarf.
Yeah, we actually started with the dwarf like bats, which we later completely scrapped. But yeah, we started with the dwarf like bats and then went from there. So this is usually September, October, where if we're going to release a project, we're trying to play it then. Same thing with Mouse Guard. We just grabbed it. Mouse Guard though kind of fell out of my head almost full cloth. I had a lot of it on paper when we were doing alpha. So the alpha is just notes and scribbles. Then I got to actually write it so somebody can read it. And unfortunately, Tor is the one who has to deal with that first draft. It's terrible. It's terrible. But Tor's very generous. So at this point, we do it like a high-level read or a content read. So we're just trying to figure out the kind of the structure of the idea, what to keep, what to lose, how to go forward. And then I rewrite it again. Let's go. And then we do beta testing, I redraft it, and then that's the draft that you guys usually see. It's third full draft. There's kind of little micro drafts, like little revisions in between. But so that's the one that you guys get, and that's why it's so rough, really. So then we send it to our second tier editor as well. So he gives comments about the language, so not so much structure. He's not looking for commas or anything like that. He's looking to make sure stuff is clear, stuff is organized, makes some modicum of sense. And then we commission art. This is a sketch from Kurt Komoda for the homunculus and the necromancer in the Magic Burner. And then I start working on the layout, which you guys are all familiar with. Then I get your feedback, incorporate it into the books, and we go into layout, final art. Oh, I meant to. Do I have an emergency art? What's the next slide? Is there emergency art on the next slide? No, damn it! Oh, I forgot to put in the emergency art. None of the artists are here now, but we have every book has at least 2 pieces of emergency art, as in just the layout doesn't work at all, and I need something 4 inches by 2 inches to fit right here, right now. And they humor me. They're very nice. And those are and they're like, "Oh, you need that tomorrow. I had 3 months to do the last piece. Sorry." Yeah. So yes, and then the last stage of our production process is the weekend of pain. So at the very end of our production process, we have, I like to call it an editing party now. I feel like editing party is a little bit more marketable than the weekend of pain. So this guy, Tor came on board in 2004 when we were doing the Monster Burner, and he sat down for a demo and played. He was like, "Oh, this is fun." And he lived in Manhattan. I gave him a ride home. We were in New Jersey, like I mentioned. And, as he's getting out of the car, he's like, "Oh, thanks for the ride. Hey, I'm a professional editor. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Yeah, the food. So, cut to the. So there was no Weekend of Pain for the Monster Burner, and it shows. But so Friday night we start, and we basically read the thing as many times as possible over the weekend. And we have everyone come over, grab a chapter, like I have all the chapters laid out. Everybody grabs a chapter, grabs a red pen, sits down, and gives comments. If somebody actually understands grammar, they can correct the grammar. Jared will actually try to start rewriting the whole thing right then and there, which I love, let me tell you.
You know what would be cool?
Yeah. Right, Jared looks up from the middle of a chapter and says, you know what would be cool? And I stabbed him. So yeah, Weekend of Pain. So for this last Weekend of Pain for the Adventure Burner, which was probably our most successful, I don't know how many people we had there. A lot of people. We started Friday at about 6, went till midnight or 2, I don't know. Saturday we went from 11 to 2 in the morning. And then Sunday, no, that's not true. You came at 11, I was there, I was up at 8. I was editing at 8. So yeah, 8 to 2 for me, and then 8 to midnight the next day, and then from 9 to 3 the next day.
It was much more reasonable this time.
Yes, and Dro, we actually have a whole production process. We kind of work, like, Dro has real production experience, I have real production experience, so we have kind of have an assembly line, and we're inputting stuff and checking the stuff. So, who here thinks our editing has gotten better? Has our editing gotten better over the years? Oh god, that's a silent majority out there, huh? I'm impressed that we do this, because this is all volunteer. It's fun, we listen to music, this is where all of our stupid in-jokes come from, because we also go mad over the weekend. We have food.
Sometimes.
Well, when you're done, you get food. It's a surprisingly fun thing so if you're actually thinking of doing a game, try to trick your friends to come over and read it, and call it an editing party. All right, yeah, as I said, I slowly go mad over the course of the weekend. One of the traditions for the Weekend of Pain is that all the drafts go on the floor as each chapter gets reprinted. So we usually have this giant pile of reprints on the floor by the end of the weekend, and that is me drowning in reprints. So we go to the printer, and that's when we talk to you guys. We don't announce projects or don't talk about anything until we've done the Weekend of Pain and we're sending stuff off. We want to make sure that we have it ready to go. Then you guys give us the money to print it, and we print it. Without the pre-orders, we would be beholden to a much different cash flow schedule. We basically have to be scrimping and saving and waiting until we had enough cash to print something. So our publishing schedule would be very erratic. But with a pre-order schedule, and just even something as small as 200 pre-orders, we can do a fairly regular annual schedule. And there are definitely hiccups, there are definitely problems with the pre-orders. It's not perfect, but I feel like we do a pretty decent job trying to get stuff out to you guys. You guys get it first, you get cool perks. I don't know, you can tell me after this, no, it sucks. So all right, is there an exhaustion frame? What's next? Yes, there's me delirious. That's me signing the Adventure Burners at Andy's, on Andy's couch. Yeah, Andy cooked me a bowl of pasta. It was like the best bowl of pasta I'd ever had. Hauling those fucking Adventure Burners in the rain, and then signing them